Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. You feeling good? I hope so. I hope you're healthy and well and in good circumstance. Sorry, I've been watching the news about the fires back in Southern California. So much loss. The next chapter in this new book, MahaPariNirvana Sutra, is titled On Grief. So that is one of the founding reasons for this this collection of teachings in this sutra, but certainly no less relevant today, yes? All right, we left off with Shakyamuni saying to Cunda, do not say such as, quote, love us and stay long in life, unquote. As I have compassion for all of you and all beings, I today enter nirvana. So why? Well, this is what is true of all Buddhas. In other words, all of you and I. You and I understand this. A lot of people in this audience that he's speaking to don't seem to completely understand that. This is so with what is created. Now, he's just laid it out. This is true of all Buddhas. This is true of all that is created. In other words, Buddhas are created. Why? Why are Buddhas created? What Buddha isn't created. That's foundational in all phenomena of the universe, right? That's Tathagata expressed. Tathagata potential expressed. How is it expressed? Through the mechanism of this incredibly complex bodily form. And beyond this bodily form and the brain is this sentience, sentient mind, this ninth consciousness that is built into this sentient mind is Buddha. What is Buddha? The experience of the engine of life. The engine of life, a conduct of energy from quiescence through formation into form that is plain to the construction, the construct of the cosmos, and prior and after, as knowable through the potential of Tathagata. Tathagata being the potential to instantiate, to express itself, the knowingness, as an experience of a sentient mind. Buddha. That is Buddha. That is why all Buddhas say in Agatha, not all Buddhas like Shakyamuni, all Buddhas as in Buddha-ness, Buddhahood, all of us. The law of what is created is by nature non-eternal, or within time. If something exists within our construct of time, measurement of experience in some form of what we call time, then it is non-eternal, because that only occurs in these expressions that begin, decay, and end. Right? That's the nature of all phenomena. They instantiate, they express themselves. In their expression, they rise, they abide as they weaken and get older and disassemble until they are no longer. This is the cycle of birth and death. It's true of every moment of life, moment to moment to moment to moment, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. It's also true of the physical universe. Everything, right? Stars. O Cunda, he says, now meditate upon all that is made. Oh, I didn't finish the Gatha. I'm sorry. The law of what is created is by nature non-eternal or within time. Life ended, we leave the world. Extinction is quiescence. Huh? Extinction is quiescence. It's not dust to dust, it's energy to energy. Dust is material. Dust also is made of forms of energy. That doesn't make dust eternal, does it? The conundrum here for the scientifically minded is if energy returns to energy after having expressed so much potential, and all that potential is expressed within the confines of our constructs of time, therefore there is no time, it's outside of time that this energy, this quiescence exists. What is that? See, this is the Tathagata working in your mind. What does that look like? What is that experience? Well, it's Buddha. It's a little confounding to our Saha minds, right? But to our ninth consciousness, our Buddha mind, that makes perfect sense. It is actually the truth. Let's continue. Now meditate on all that is made, that is composite. Think that all things are not self and are non-eternal or within time, and that nothing endures. This carnal body has innumerable wrongs. All is like watery foam. So do not weep. And I have a note here. What is missing here is the explicit statement that while Shakyamunibuddha enters extinction, the Tathagata is present and embodied in every human being awaiting awakening. But then we understand that this is the very expedient device that Shakyamuni is trusting to inspire those of his day to continue to aspire to Buddhahood. He goes on, then Cunda again said to Shakyamunibuddha, it is thus, I get it. All is as you kindly teach me. Shakyamunibuddha enters nirvana for expediency's sake. In other words, as a device for us to learn, right? But I cannot help being sad. Be this as it may, I bethink me and feel glad. Okay. Shakyamuni praised Cunda and said, well said, well said. You well know that Shakyamunibuddha, following the way of all beings, enters nirvana for expediency's sake. I've expressed all I have to express. I'm done now. It's up to you to do your thing. My work is done. Back to quiescence I go. Hear me well. It is as in the case in which Sarasa, an eastern bean goose, birds all gather at Lake Anavapatapti in the spring months. The same is the case with all Buddhas. All gather here. All gather here. You're Buddha. He's a Buddha. She's a Buddha. He's talking about the sentient mind, the ninth consciousness, Buddha-ness. We're all gathered here with, at different levels of understanding, certainly. Some bordering on total ignorance. But none is without this capacity to express Tathagata-ness, Tathagata insight, Tathagata field, to instantiate the experience of clarity, all-knowing, Buddha-ness. O Cunda, think not long or short regarding the life of all Buddhas. All things are like phantoms. The Tathagata lives in between. What it has is expediency. It does not cling. Why not? It is thus with the Dharma of all Buddhas. When you open your Buddha mind, your ninth consciousness, and you see with clarity the engine of life, there's no motivation, there's no need, there's no concept of clinging or craving. The moment as it occurs one after another is so boundlessly fascinating and gorgeous, beautiful, inspiring, that's the only thing to behold. That is truly Tathagata-ness. Experiencing the field from which the experience is expressed. O Cunda, I now take what you offer. This is to allow you to cross the river of the cycle of birth and death. I now take what you offer. This is to enable you to transcend the cycle of birth and death. Yes? In other words, I accept your generosity. Not the material of your generosity, but your act of generosity. So that you can see beyond thingness that this welling up in you of gratitude and joy for the acceptance of generosity, which is something in you, is so far beyond the experience of the material that in this moment you can experience you don't need anything more. You don't need to keep anything more. In this moment you are experiencing this contemporaneous, in this moment to moment to moment to moment, joy. You have left behind the craving and clinging, and you are now in the experience of Bodhisattva via the ninth consciousness, your Buddhahood. That's in this small statement is what's being said. Man or the Pure Land who make offerings to Buddha, for the last time, all gain an unshakable recompense and will be bequeathed with happiness. Why? Because I am the best field of wheel for all beings. Field of wheel. Field, Tathagata, of wheel. Attitude and intent. Buddha. Bodhisattva with Buddha mind. If you desire to become a field of wheel for all beings, take whatever is given you and do not tarry long. Well, thank you, and don't spend time analyzing it, and this is wonderful. No, the giving is the wonderful. The receiving is the wonderful. It connects us like the filaments of the universe. Then Cunda, for the sake of the emancipation of all beings, hung his head and suppressed his tears, and said to Shakyamunibuddha, "Very well, O world-honored one, when I am worthy of becoming a field of wheel, of influence and strength, I shall be able to fathom the nirvana or non-nirvana of Shakyamunibuddha. Now we will all, Sharakas and Pratyekabuddhas, are like mosquitoes or sawflies, and cannot well weigh the nirvana or non-nirvana of Shakyamunibuddha." I have a note here. We see again Kunda's difficulty with this concept when he states that he will someday understand the nirvana of the Tathagata as a parinirvana of Shakyamunibuddha, and that the Tathagata is timeless potential, unaffected or afflicted with the createdness of the Saha realm that is occupied by Shakyamunibuddha, manifestation of Tathagata. That should be a possessive. Shakyamunibuddha's manifestation of Tathagata. The Tathagata is without time, and therefore has no need of nirvana. Nirvana is strictly a material or physical release of the material world, by definition, yes? Furthermore, we have a different word for the Tathagata-ness experienced in the physical cosmos, and that word is Buddha. Shakyamuni Buddha's experience, further, can only be experienced in a sentient mind, and therefore it too is ephemeral and not material. To close this chapter, Cunda and his relatives all wept sorrowfully and walked around the body of Shakyamuni Buddha, burned incense, strew flowers, and most significantly, sincerely paid homage to Shakyamuni Buddha, and then stood up together with Manjushri and brought forward the utensils of offerings. Now, in my mind, this could be the end of this sutra. And in many ways, it is. And so what we'll be reading here, following that chapter, is a whole lot of communications before that moment of death and after it on, well, the next chapter 3 being on grief, on the situation of people's varying capacities in this time and how they're experiencing the whole of this process. So we'll be jumping around a lot. I foreshadow the rest of this book. We'll be jumping around between very new practitioners, still whose perspective is of very early understandings of the earliest teachings. Still, even after the Lotus Sutra has been taught for the previous 8 years, still some are only starting along the path and they have rudimentary understanding and are, frankly, ill-equipped to deal with the disappearance of Shakyamuni. So we're going to hear arguments back and forth about Buddhism, some of which will leave us a little bit stunned because they're always these dialogues are to the capacity of the student, unlike the Lotus Sutra, which is a dialogue from the point of view of enlightenment, right? So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, thank you for being here. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for your support so that I can continue to do this. You know, I've demonetized everything as I'm sick of commercials interrupting our dialogue and our learning, our confidence. I don't, the interruptions are annoying. I can't stand them. I don't know how you would tolerate them. So certainly, anyway, demonetized. So the only avenue of support for this resource to keep it growing, to keep these videos going, to keep the free stuff on threefoldlotus.com posted, the website up, the free podcasts, so on and so forth. The bookstore, so that you can get to some of the books like this one that I'm going to. There's a lot of repairs I need to do. Those of you who monthly donate through Patreon, through PayPal, you are truly bodhisattvas. I can't thank you enough. We all thank you, because this benefits all of us. Those of you who've bought ebooks, books, print books, mandalas, those donations all mean so much to keep this going, and I appreciate every single one of you. That doesn't mean that if you don't have the ability right now to donate, simply liking and subscribing is a huge help to get more people into this Sangha. So it's Bodhisattva work too, right? Propagation. Again, take care of your health. Please savor your practice. Take your time. Slow down. Consistency is much more important. Consistency and determination are the most important. You can struggle with Gangyo till the cows come home, as they say. It's your intent and your attitude, right? Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of your health. Bye for now.